Whooped. you know, everything is whooped. These my workout clothes, y'all, so I ain't worried about that. But I was just reading Hebrews chapter 4. And something jumped out at me, y'all. I thought about this. Like, as I was reading this verse, crazy thing popped into my mind, right? So let me get the actual verse I was reading. Um, wait, hold on. One second. Okay. So Hebrews 4:16. Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Now, boldly approach the throne, right? Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive the grace, right? The mercy in our time of need, help. So this is what popped into my head. I have a Chevy Suburban. And whenever I need my vehicle worked on, I'll find a mechanic relatively close to where I live. And, I'll do my due diligence, do my research, Google reviews, all that good stuff, right? And I will work on trying to find a local mechanic that's not too far from the house, just in case something happens. I don't really have that far to go to get my vehicle to get looked at and get worked on, right? However, I'm always left with this feeling, and I didn't even notice it until I read this verse. This is what's crazy. But as I'm looking back and I'm analyzing all of the vehicles that I've ever owned and all of the mechanics that I've ever dealt with, every single time I have left with a feeling of, man, I hope, like whatever it is that I'm hoping, like, I hope they don't try to get over on me. I hope they don't make a bad situation worse. I hope they can actually fix it. I hope they don't overcharge me. I hope. And when I pick the vehicle up, there's always this, okay, wait and see if the vehicle is responding differently than it was when you brought it in. There's only been very few times in my life, of all the vehicles that I've owned, and I've owned several, right? There's been relatively few times in my life when I took a vehicle in to get it looked at where I felt none of that, I hope, that I just described before. I felt no sense of trepidation, no hesitation. I was confident in my approach. And that was when I took the car to the dealership. My last Chevy truck, I took to a dealership. My Mercedes, I took to a dealership. maybe one other car. I'm trying to think. I think I had a Honda back in the day that I took to a dealership. Those are the only times when I went and had a vehicle looked at where I had zero questions in my mind, or zero doubt in my mind as to whether or not the problem would be accurately diagnosed and repaired. Why did I feel that way? Because I was returning the vehicle back to the manufacturer. Who better knows the vehicle than those that constructed it, those that designed it, those whose sole purpose is to keep them running functionally? Why are we, and myself included, why are we always so hesitant to go to God with our problems? Why don't we approach that throne confidently when we go back to the one that made us? And there's a plane flying overhead right now, so I can't control that. I live right by the airport, so we hear that 30,000 times a day. But for some reason, we aren't able to bring ourselves back to the one who made us and be confident in doing so, knowing that whatever problem, whatever issue that we have, that we're experiencing, he is more than capable to accurately diagnose and repair whatever the problem is. We should know when we bring ourselves back to the manufacturer, when we bring ourselves to the throne of grace, we should be confident because he made us. So of course he's going to be able to see what's wrong and fix it. All we have to do is ask.